Paying for a car in cash can be one of the worst financial mistakes you'll ever make. And before you close this video thinking, then it's better to finance, I need to tell you something even harsher. Financing can be even worse. I know, it sounds contradictory. It sounds like a phrase thrown in to grab attention. But stick with me for the next few minutes, because I'm going to show you exactly why the two options every American sees, save up the cash and pay up front, or finance over 72 months, are, in practice, the only two options the middle class can see. And meanwhile, there's a third way, a way the rich have been using for decades, that big companies in New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago use every day, and that nobody, absolutely nobody taught you, not school, not your parents, not your bank manager. I want to introduce you to three characters, three real people who made three completely different decisions when it came to buying a car, and their financial results, 5 years later, will shock you. Person A is Michael. He lives in Dallas. Disciplined, a spreadsheet user, he cut out Starbucks, cut out Netflix, saved $50,000 and bought his dream SUV in cash. No debt, no installments, no interest. He leaves the dealership with the title in his name, slaps the steering wheel and thinks, "Now that's how I've won." His father utters that classic phrase, "That's how you do it, son. Debt is for suckers." Person B is Jennifer, Atlanta. She didn't have $50,000 in her account, but she wanted the same car. She did what most people do, $5,000 down payment, financed the rest over 72 months. Installments of $750 per month. She leaves happy, except there's a detail the salesman doesn't mention aloud. She'll end up paying almost $65,000 for a $50,000 car, $15,000 in interest, $15,000 coming out of her pocket and going straight to the bank. And then there's person C. I'm not going to introduce them to you yet, because what they did will seem crazy to you in the first few minutes of this video. It will seem like throwing money away. It will seem like the worst decision on the planet. But when I put the numbers on the table, you'll realize that this third person came out financially ahead of the other two. Way ahead. And the most interesting thing, what they did isn't a secret. It's not a trick. It's not a Wall Street scheme. It's a tool available to anyone with verifiable income and a decent credit score. But most people have never heard of it the right way. And those who have, heard it from someone who didn't understand the game. Before I continue, do one quick thing. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here we talk about what nobody told you about money. It takes 2 seconds, and this could be the video that changes your next car purchase forever. Now come back with me, because what happened to Michael and Jennifer in the following 5 years is the kind of thing that, once you see it, you can't unsee it. 6 months after buying the car outright, Michael is living a reality he didn't expect. It's not that the car broke down. The car is perfect. The problem is something else. His bank account, which had $50,000, now has $2,000. And when his wife slips on the stairs, needs knee surgery, and the deductible from his tax plan arrives with a bill of $8,000, Michael feels that familiar pit in his stomach that anyone who's ever run out of savings knows. He has to borrow money from his brother-in-law with interest. Think about it. A guy who had $50,000 in his account 6 months later is asking his brother-in-law for a loan. Why? Because he transformed liquid money, money that solves problems, money that gives you the power of choice, into an asset that depreciates every single day. The minute you take it out of the dealership, the car has already lost value. In the first year, it loses 20–25%, and Michael can't undo it anymore. His money is parked in the garage, losing value while he sleeps, and there's another knife to the table. 3 months after the purchase, a friend showed up with an opportunity. A local franchise projected return of 20% per year. Michael would have gone for it. It would have changed his life. But he didn't have the capital. His capital was tied up in a 4-wheeled vehicle, smelling of a new car. That opportunity passed, and he'll never truly know how much that decision cost him, because he didn't just lose the money for the car. He lost everything that money could have become. This has a name. It's called opportunity cost. It's one of the most misunderstood aspects of American financial education. Most people look at a cash purchase and think, I have no debt, therefore I'm winning. But that's an illusion. Because every dollar sitting idle in a depreciating asset is a dollar that isn't working for you elsewhere. And idle money, in finance, isn't neutral money. It's money losing value. Now come with me to Jennifer's story. The first few months were great. Instagram photos, outings with friends, a sense of accomplishment. But in the 8th month, the company starts laying off people. And then that $750 payment, which seemed manageable, becomes an anchor. She can't quit. She can't risk changing jobs. She can't refuse overtime. Because if she's late, the bank will repossess her car. Simple as that. Jennifer discovered, the hard way, what it means to be a slave to her own consumption. She lost career freedom. She lost peace of mind. Every time her boss puts a heavy foot down, she feels it in her stomach. Because the car has become a leash costing $750 a month for the next 6 years. And the cherry on top, 2 years later, a serious mechanical problem. Out of warranty. Estimate, $4,200. She looks at the financing bill, looks at her bank account, and realizes she's paying high interest to the bank for the right to pay for the repair of a car that isn't even hers yet. Because the title is with the bank. Until the last installment, the car belongs to the bank. In practice, she's renting the car from the bank for an absurd price and still paying for all the maintenance. Now pause. Think about it. Who's better off? Michael, debt-free but without liquidity? Or Jennifer, with the car but tied to a payment that's eating away at her peace of mind? The honest answer, they're both in trouble. They both lost. They both made decisions that seemed smart on the surface, but when you open the hood of financial analysis, they turn out to be destructive. And here lies the most important myth shattered by this video. Paying in cash, contrary to what your father told you, what your uncle told you, what the YouTube guru told you, isn't automatically smart. Paying in cash is only smart if the money you're using couldn't be better used elsewhere. If you have an emergency fund, growing investments, a solid net worth, then yes, it might make sense. But if you're emptying your account, sacrificing liquidity, missing opportunities, you're not being smart. You're being emotional. You're buying into the feeling of, I don't owe anyone anything, and paying a very high price for that feeling. On the other hand, financing isn't automatically bad either. There's strategic debt. There are situations where cheap debt preserves expensive capital. But traditional car financing, the way the average American does it, with 7 or 8% interest per year over 72 months, with the car depreciating faster than the debt decreases, that's one of the worst financial products on the market. For the first 3 years, you're underwater. You owe more on the car than the car is worth. If you need to sell it, you still have to take money out of your pocket to pay off the debt. The two narratives you've been sold your whole life, pay cash, it's better, and finance it, it fits your budget, are incomplete narratives. Narratives that work for those who sell cars, for those who sell credit, for those who sell the illusion of ownership, but they don't work for those who want to build real wealth. The wealthy understood this a long time ago. They don't think about owning a car. They think about using a car. And this change of wording, from owning to using, changes absolutely everything. Because when you stop wanting to possess an asset that depreciates and start wanting only to enjoy it, the game changes. You leave the logic of the average consumer and enter a logic used by CEOs in San Francisco, lawyers in Manhattan, doctors in Boston, and entrepreneurs in Miami. And it is precisely about this logic that I am going to talk to you now. Now it's time to introduce you to Person C. His name is David. He lives in Miami. His income is similar to Michael and Jennifer's. He's not a millionaire. He's not an heir. The only exceptional thing about his financial life is this: he understood the game. He saw the third way. David didn't pay cash. David didn't finance. David leased. And I know exactly what you're thinking. Leasing? That's throwing money away. That's rent. In the end, you get nothing. Calm down. Breathe. Because it's precisely this belief that's been making you lose money for years without you even realizing it. Leasing, the way the wealthy use it, isn't like renting a car. It's a financial strategy. It's a completely different way of structuring the use of a depreciating asset. And when you understand the mechanics behind it, you realize that, in many cases, it's mathematically the smartest decision there is. Let me explain it simply. Reset your brain. Forget everything. Let's start from the beginning. When you buy a car, whether in cash or financed, you pay for the entire car, for the whole $50,000. But there's something nobody tells you. You don't use all $50,000. You only use a fraction. Because at the end of 3 years, that car is worth $32,000. In other words, you only consumed $18,000 worth of the car, but you immobilized $50,000. Do you feel the difference? With leasing, you don't pay for the entire car. You only pay for the portion you'll use, only for the depreciation, only for the $18,000 that the car will lose in 3 years. And in the end, you return it. No headaches. No selling, no negotiating, no worrying about resale. It's the same logic as when you go to Orlando for a week. You don't buy a house in Orlando to stay for 7 days. You rent it, because you're going to use it for 7 days. It doesn't make sense to buy an entire house to use only a fraction of it. And somehow when it comes to cars, people forget this basic logic. They buy a whole house, the whole car, to use only a fraction of it for 3, 4, 5 years. David leased the car for 36 months. The monthly payment was $450. Jennifer pays $750 for the same model. That's a difference of $300 per month for 36 months. David has almost $11,000 left over in his cash flow. And Michael? He withdrew $50,000 from his account. David kept his $50,000. $50,000 working, earning interest, available. In 3 years invested at 8% per year, it became $63,000. In other words, David earned $13,000 just by maintaining liquidity. $13,000 that Michael left on the table, $13,000 that Jennifer paid in interest to the bank. At the end of the 3 years, Michael has a used car worth $30,000. Jennifer still owes the bank, and her car is also worth about $30,000. And David? He returns the keys. He gets a brand new car with a warranty, 0 headaches, bank account intact. Honest question, who made the better choice? And if you think this only works for the rich, you're wrong. It works for anyone with a stable income and a decent credit score. What happens is that the rich discovered it first because they have access to quality consulting. Meanwhile, the middle class continues listening to the neighbor, the uncle, the bank manager, well-intentioned people who have never really studied finance. If this makes sense so far, do one quick thing. Leave a like and write in the comments which of the 3 profiles you identify with today. Are you a Michael? A Jennifer? Or are you closer to a David? I read it. I reply. And your answer helps the algorithm get this video to more people who need to hear this. Now, here are 7 advantages of leasing that the wealthy know and that no one has told you about. Advantage 1. Intact liquidity. Liquidity is the most valuable thing in finance. More valuable than immobilized assets, than status, than the feeling of, I owe nothing. Because liquidity is power. It's your ability to respond when life knocks on your door. Michael transformed $50,000 in power into an idle asset. When life knocked, he had no answer. David maintained his power. If tomorrow an opportunity arises, an emergency, a property auction, he has cash. Liquidity is optionality. It's the difference between those who control their lives and those who are controlled by them. Advantage 2. Drastic risk reduction. Jennifer made a commitment of $750 per month for 6 years. Rain or shine, job or no job. If she's late, the bank takes it. If she wants to leave, she pays an absurd fine. A 36-month lease is a shorter commitment, smaller installments, much lower total value. If Jennifer loses her job in month 14, she owes 58 installments. If David is in financial trouble in month 14, he owes 22 smaller installments. And in the end, he simply pays it back. No residual liability. Risk isn't just how much you pay, it's how much you commit to paying in the future. And every future commitment is a bet that your life will continue as before. Life never continues as before. Advantage 3. Always having a new car without the headache of ownership. Let's be honest, humans like new cars. They like the smell, the technology, the feeling. It's not immaturity, it's human nature. In the traditional model, to always have a new car, you enter an absurd cycle of losses. You buy it, drive it for 3 years, try to sell it, it depreciates by 40%, you take a loss, you finance it again. With leasing, every 2 or 3 years, you return it and get a new one. Always within the warranty period. Always at the forefront of technology: autonomous braking, lane assist, connectivity, fuel efficiency. Anyone stuck in a 10-year-old car is driving a museum piece. Advantage 4: total predictability and peace of mind. This is the one that most impacts quality of life. When you own a car after 3 or 4 years, you live in permanent uncertainty. That strange noise, is it serious? The check engine? $300 or $3,000? Unplanned expenses destroy the family budget. With leasing, this simply doesn't exist. The warranty covers everything. Your cost is the installment plus gas plus insurance. Period. No surprises, no heartache. Financial predictability isn't just comfort, it's mental health. It's the difference between living anxiously and living knowing exactly what your costs are every month. Advantage 5: protection against depreciation. A car is one of the assets that depreciates the most. Take it out of the dealership and it's already lost 10%. First year, another 20. 3 years, 40, 45%. And this depreciation is not linear. It's not predictable. It's not controllable. When you buy, you own the risk. Recalls, new models, the used car market plummeting. The loss is yours. In leasing, the leasing company assumes the risk. If they got the projection wrong, that's their problem. You return it, and that's it. It's a transfer of risk. That's exactly what Fortune 500 companies have been doing for decades. They don't buy fleets, they lease. Because they know that a car is a bad asset to have on the balance sheet. If it's worth billions for a company, why wouldn't it be worth it for you? Advantage 6: tax optimization. If you own your own business, are self-employed, own an LLC, or are a freelancer with declared income, leasing is one of the most powerful tax tools in your arsenal, because installments can be deducted as an operating expense within IRS rules. Part of your monthly cost comes back in the form of a tax reduction. When you finance a personal car, interest is not deductible. When you pay cash, nothing is deductible. But in leasing, for mixed professional use, there's a layer of advantage that the traditional buyer doesn't even know exists. Talk to a CPA to tailor it to your situation. But the point is, the CEO of the startup in Austin doesn't buy his own car. He leases it through the company, for a reason. Advantage 7: total freedom to trade. In the traditional model, trading in a car is a nightmare. Advertising, receiving a stranger at home, negotiating, discovering that the car isn't worth what you thought, wasting weeks, or trading it in for an absurdly low price. And if it's underwater, a Brazilian slang term for a car underlead, you can't even trade it in. You're stuck. With leasing, trading is like returning the key and getting another one. Your child was born, you need a bigger SUV? Trade it in. Move to a different city, need an economical car? Trade it in. Tired of the model? Trade it in. This freedom is something that those who have always bought cars can't even imagine. After you experience it, going back to owning a car seems medieval. Now, 3 objections that are on the tip of your tongue. I'm going to answer each one. Leasing is throwing money away. In the end, you end up with nothing. Technically false. Everyone who owns a car throws money away, just in different ways. Michael threw away depreciation, $20,000 in 3 years. Jennifer threw away interest, $15,000 to the bank. David paid $16,000 in installments, got a new car, 0 headaches, 0 risk, and $50,000 earning interest in his account. Who threw away more? Do the math. The ending up with nothing is an illusion because the car that Michael and Jennifer have in the end isn't something either. It's a depreciated asset that they will still have to sell with difficulty. The idea that ownership generates value when the asset depreciates is a giant conceptual error. I prefer to pay in cash, that way I can sleep peacefully. I respect the emotional choice, but sleeping peacefully because you don't owe anything is one thing. Sleeping peacefully because you have money in your account for any emergency is another. When you pay in cash, emptying your savings, you've traded the second peace of mind for the first. But the first is narrative peace of mind. It's ego-driven. The real structural peace of mind comes from having liquidity. Ask Michael if he was sleeping peacefully when his brother-in-law was demanding repayment of the loan and his wife was recovering from surgery. Used cars are always better. That might be great in certain scenarios. If you understand mechanics, you're willing to take the risk. But let's be honest, most people who buy used cars are buying a liability on wheels, the maintenance costs of others, the problems the previous owner didn't fix. For many people, especially those who depend on their car for work, leasing wins in terms of total cost, and it wins by a wide margin. Finally, take this phrase from this video with you forever. If you truly understand it, it will change not only your next car purchase, but the way you make financial decisions for the rest of your life. The poor choose how to pay. The middle class chooses how to pay in installments. The rich choose how to structure their finances. Think about this sentence. Let it settle. Michael chose how to pay. Jennifer chose how to pay in installments. David chose how to structure his finances, preserving liquidity, reducing risk, optimizing costs, and still keeping his car looking new. The difference between these three mindsets isn't how much money each person has. It's how each person views money. Paying cash and financing are the only two options the traditional system shows you, because the system profits from both. The dealership profits from the sale, the bank profits from the interest, and you think you're being smart choosing between them. But there's a third way, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. You don't have to agree. You don't have to go out and lease tomorrow. But you do need to consider that maybe everything you've been told your whole life about cars, debt, ownership, doing it the right way, maybe it's just a story told by those who profit from you believing it. And maybe the time to start thinking differently is now. If this video resonated with you, do 3 quick things. First, leave a like. It helps the channel bring this type of content to more people stuck with the 2 traditional options. Second, comment on which advantage surprised you the most. And if you disagree, comment too. I want a real debate. I'll personally reply to the most interesting comments. And third, there's a video on the screen now. Click on it. Because if this one made you question how you buy a car, that one will make you question another financial decision you've probably been making wrong for years. See you there.